Good morning, everyone. Today's Tuesday, August the 29th. My name is Anne-Marie Band, and this is the Moneyball Morning Report for the Benzinga Pro platform. I am going to do this for our next little bit in Thinkorswim while I'm abroad also, because I think it shows me some things that I can see a lot better from a wide angle perspective, and so that's really what we're going to look at. So first of all, this morning, let's take a look overall at what the daily chart is telling us, because I think it's telling us something pretty important. And what it's saying is, listen, at this juncture, we still want to buy the dip. Now, let's think about here. This is a linear regression channel that shifts based on the amount of time that we're looking at, and we're looking at a day. If you want to put this on TOS, it's the linear regression channel called VAR, right? VAR for variable amount of time. So you can see how it's moving in the short term and the long term. I really prefer it to any other type of channel formation that we can automate. So what it's telling us is that down here at the 25% of the linear regression, what we're staring down is, I should have these in different colors. Hang on a second. Okay, so I've changed the color just a wee bit. Hopefully it can be seen. All right, this inside space, this is the center of the linear regression line. This is a 25% range, this is a 50% range, this is a 75% range. So what we really want to focus on is how it behaves when it crosses through the middle. And so what we have seen, certainly in the last little bit, we've seen when it crosses through the middle over the last year, it spent a fair amount of time fleshing out price action at this 25% range to the 50% range before dancing around this lower 25% range. It's still grinding up, but the dips are telling you where to buy, not the breakouts. And so I suspect that this is potentially what we're going to be looking at over the short term, right? This failure at the midline tells us, okay, I've got a little bit of weakness. It tests and it fails again. So I'm dancing around here. I suspect some kind of bounce, right? Into the end of the month, this is kind of a normal event breaking into the end of the month. And so we are still under a little bit of a negative cloud. And so for all the folks looking at a head and shoulders pattern, which I take with a grain of salt, this is the region that we're up against, this 44.97 to 45.05. Okay, and so that is the range in the space. And we're using these 25, 50, 75. You know, we used to use Fibonacci levels, but I like these Gann levels because I think people are gravitating towards them. And remember, as humans, we force order in chaos. We try to force an order that tells us, no, this is how it's supposed to run. And so we trade according to that order, or else technical analysis would never work. All right, that's just the simplicity of that. Okay, now that I've spent all that time talking about this, what are we looking at here? We're still in a buy the dip, but from a daily perspective, look at what's happening. We have a low, higher high relative to that, a break of the resistance zone, a breach here, but a lower high, a break of the support zone that was supposed to be old resistance, and then a recovery of it. So it tells me that we are sideways and the sellers are still in charge. Have a peek at this particular trajectory. All right, so what do we expect today? Listen, we could have a ton of buying today. We could move into these wicks here at about 44.67, or we could come right back down here at 43.98 and test the 4400 before moving again. So let's go to the 30-minute and plan out what the day is going to look like if you are thinking to yourself, you know what, I want to trade intraday. Now, take a look at this expansion pattern that's opening up in the pre-market. We had a low at around 44.39 that got broken and immediately recovered, and then broken again. VWAP is sideways, high, lower high, low, lower low. So this is grinding down. Let me go back to the daily. Why do we anticipate that sellers are going to come in and try to flesh out a bottom? Simple. Are we above the close of the prior day? No. So if we are not above the close of the prior day, we must look to the candlestick formation and say, all right, where's my 50% range? Or where is the wick from 2 candles ago? Does it look like I might get into that space? And then if I lose that area, I'm going to be down here, right? At the 44.12 zone. So if I go back to my 30-minute, let's see if we can make those mesh. They kind of do, right? What we would need to do is maybe lift this up. It's the fleshing out of yesterday's formation. And this one, a little bit sideways to me. I would suspect that it's probably deeper into this area and closer to the volume point of control over the last 10 days. All right, so long-term daily formation traders are looking for the dip to buy. Short-term intraday traders are looking for the bounce to sell. And this is what we must consider. Framework, we're looking at a channel that gives us the current low, but probably going to flesh out since we've got trending formations here. When do the buyers try to assume control again? Let's get back into the channel that we had overnight until the break at about 5 a.m., right? So this is Europe opening up, bounce, and failure, okay? And a lot of people are talking about Europe right now from a currency perspective. So why did I spend so much time here? Listen, I want to give you mechanical flow. I want you to be able to pick out these pictures and say, you know, I get it. I understand. I can do this myself. That's my ultimate goal, to work with you as closely as I can, with us being far apart from each other, and still say, okay, can we understand what's going on together? Okay? All right. Now, we have a gap up in SPY for yesterday that closed here. We don't have intraday motion showing on this particular chart, but we can see, hey, that's clear resistance, 443.63. Let's go to our 30-minute. And it tells us same sort of thing, right? There's my resistance zone, broken and then collapsed. So what does this tell you? I don't need to buy the first breakout in this current formation. And I don't need to sell the breakdown in this current formation. I must wait for a failed retest that gives me the short, or the bounce. Now notice, 30-minute chart just from the overnight is telling us people are buying the dips, right? They are trying to buy the dips. They're seeking them out. Look, low, higher low, higher low, higher low. The problem is the break higher is getting really pretty ugly. So this is a range break formation until you figure out what's going on. My thought is It's still a buy the dip formation. The dip could move into the low, which was at 5 o'clock yesterday. That's very interesting. 5:30. It's probably just trades filtering out. But in any case, this is what we're staring down from this current formation. Look at the shape of this linear regression channel. What does it tell you? It tells you that the tops are going to fail and the bottoms are going to hold. Will they break and then recover? Very likely. Will they break and then fail? Very likely. Okay, so that is what we are looking at. Qs, same sort of thing. Right? A little bit more slope, but still low, higher low, higher low, high, higher high, grinding a little high. So I suspect range-based formations, again, by the dip. The longer term pressure events, we go to the daily for both SPY and the Qs, are telling us the exact same thing. On the short time frame, they're just trying to find where the traders are sitting. Let's just take a look at the NQ very quickly before I let you go. Price action holding up over this 15,000 area, right? Are we above the close of the prior day? No. Once we get above there, if we continue to have another higher low, it's going to force the sellers to cover, and it's going to bring buyers back into the group. Okay? Don't expect savage motion today. That should come Thursday, right? Maybe Wednesday, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. 30 days had September, April, June. Yeah, maybe Thursday. Okay? All right. That's it for me, folks. I will reach out to you from Tokyo. Probably not for a week, but my guess is that I'll touch in by the weekend because I'll miss the markets and I want to share my thoughts with you. All right, everybody, take care. See you soon.